Dear students, good morning to all. Now we are going to see the new course Sports Biomechanics and Kinesiology. We start with Introduction to Kinesiology and Sports Biomechanics. In this class, we are going to talk about the foundation of kinesiology, what is the meaning of kinesiology, and how the kinesiology helps to increase the performance of one athletes. The foundations of kinesiology may be attributed to the great philosophical Aristotle. Aristotle is the father of kinesiology because in his period he researched about the movements of the animals, and also he discussed about the force of an animal to move from one place to another place. So he is called the father of kinesiology. With his initial effort, now we are using the kinesiological laws in the sports performance. What is the meaning of fundamental kinesiology? The fundamental kinesiology deals with the fundamental movements of the major body segments in an activity and their relation to joint, muscles, and other vital organs. So basically, the kinesiology deals with the fundamental movements of the body is called as kinesiology. So the fundamental movements include the muscles, joints, and other vital organs also. That's why this is called as a fundamental kinesiology. What is the meaning of applied kinesiology? Now the term we are using that biomechanics. It means the applied kinesiology is called as biomechanics. So we will see in next class about the biomechanics. So it deals with the mechanical principles such as motion, center of gravity, equilibrium, force, and levers, etc. So if you talk about the movements of body parts, that is called as kinesiology, and how it helps to increase the performance. What are the principles are helping to increase the performance? That is called as biomechanics. So the kinesiology helps the teacher and the coaches through help of dynamic morphology. So science of body type. How it will help? Because if you study about the kinesiology, we can measure the kinesiological measurements of an athlete. Through the measurements of an athlete, we can predict and we can send it to the particular and apt uh, sports and games, because in kinesiological measurements, lot of kinesiological measurements are there. For example, we can measure the arm length, leg length, the girth measurement, and the chest measurement, and everything we can measure. So if we measure all the things, so we can easily uh, select the athlete to the particular sports and games. So what is the role of kinesiology? To understand the basic principles of activities, the mechanical analysis of various sports events. So basic principles of activities, for example, in sports we are doing a lot of activities, but we don't know whether it is right or wrong, whether it will create the injury or not, we don't know. The kinesiology helps to reduce all this confusion to practice in a particular way, in a right way, and it helps to avoid unwanted movements, and that is a minimum expenditure of energy and maximum output. This is called as efficient movement. If you do the any efficient movement, we must follow the rules and regulation of kinesiology. So what is the meaning of efficient movement? The minimum energy and minimum time, and we should get the maximum output. That is called as efficient movement. And for example, if you participate in any type of sports and games, unwantedly we will do unwanted movements. Actually, we need not to do that movement, but wantedly we will do. Without our conscious, we will do some of the movements. That movement we can avoid if you if you learned about the kinesiology, and it helps to perfecting the performances and perfecting the performance himself. Yes, it is absolutely correct. If you know about the movements of the body parts, we can perfecting the performance and perfecting the performers also. So both the performance will increase as well as the performance also they can perfect. For example, a long jumper must take the runway and he must take a takeoff and hitch kick method, then fly and landing. In this movement, if you know about the kinesiological applications, so he can use his all the body parts in a properly, and he can get the good performance. At the same time, the performer also can avoid the injury. Then, to know about the posture, the body mechanics, and prescribe suitable corrective exercises. The corrective exercise is called as exercise therapy. Posture is called as body mechanics. So, through the kinesiological, we can avoid the posture. For example, we can easily measure the deformities also. For example, some of the person may be in a, affected by the kyphosis or lordosis or scoliosis or flat foot or knock knee. So these are all the measurements we can take it with the help of kinesiology. Through that, we can prescribe some corrective exercises. That is called as exercise therapy. We can prescribe. So automatically we can avoid, we can minimize the posture deformities also with the help of kinesiology. And evaluation of activities and the performer also. So if you understand about the kinesiology, we can evaluate the activities also. What is the performance of an athlete? What is the maximum performer the performance can do by the performer? So what is the lag behind this? So everything we can evaluate. We can evaluate his performance as well as his nature of activity also we can measure. And to know the individual's need and preparing program according to their needs, selecting exercises according to the age, sex, and etc. So we can recommend for the individual's need and preparing program. So in sports we cannot give same training program to all the individuals or all the sports and games. So each game and each individual, they may have a different sports training program. How can we give? With the kinesiological understanding only we can give a, we can support and we can give this training program to the individual. So it may be according to the age, sex, and the performance also we can justify. To prepare program for physical fitness. So initially we can prepare a physical fitness program also for the athlete. Then application of kinesiological principles in the day-to-day activities. Yes, it is not only for the sportsman, it helps to the general public also, the sedentary people also. For example, the sedentary people and normally in general population, they are using their all the body parts in day-to-day life. Sometimes we can recommend for how they should walk, how they should run, how they should jump, how they should lift, everything we can recommend. If they don't know about these principles, automatically injury will come. It leads to the some of the body deformities and other health problems will occur due to not understanding about the kinesiological principles. Now we are going to talk about the biomechanics. What is the meaning of biomechanics? The bio means living organism and mechanics means science of motion and force. This is called as biomechanics. The application of mechanical laws to living structure, especially locomotor system of the human body, by Donald Dick. He gave the definition about the biomechanics, application of mechanical laws to living structure. This is his definition. And another definition, biomechanics is the science that examines the internal and external forces acting on a human body, the effects produced by these forces, by James G. Hay. What he is telling that the biomechanics is nothing but we will study about the internal and external forces acting on a human body. Sometimes the internal forces, it means some potential energy we have, potential forces we have in our body. It may be an internal force, and external force, sometimes it may be air, it may be water resistance, whatever may be. So external forces may act in our body. Through these forces, what is the effect we are producing? How the forces helps to get the effect. So if you talk about the force as well as the effect, that is called as biomechanics. So bio means living organism, mechanics means science of motion and force. So biomechanics deals with force as well as the effect. Then biomechanics is the study of structure and functions of biological systems by means of the methods of mechanics, which is the branch of physics involving analysis of the actions of forces. So this is called as mechanics. The kinesiology study about only the movements of the body parts, but biomechanics, it's movement of the body parts in a mechanism. How? What is the mechanism behind the movement? That is called as biomechanics. So we will talk about the mechanics. Is the branch of physics which deals with the condition of rest or motion of bodies around us. Mechanics can be divided into statics and dynamics. So it is one of the mechanics is a branch of physics. Here we will study about whether the body is in rest or motion. So for rest, what is the reason? For motion, what is the reason? That's why we are going to study. Under the mechanics, we can divide it into two areas. One is statics, another one is dynamics. So what is the meaning of statics? So mechanics, we are dividing into two. One is static, another one is dynamic. So what is the meaning of statics? Statics is study of object at rest under the condition of forces. For example, if in football, if you talk about the football, the ball is we are keeping the ball in the one of the particular place. The ball is standing in a particular place without move, without we create the force on the ball. It may be a kick or it may be air force. The ball will not move. The ball is in the same position. How? Because the ball is in rest position. The ball have some energy, but it is in rest. So the ball is not moving in a particular place. That is called a static force. The static is that branch of mechanics which deals with the science of forces balancing one another. So how the ball is in same place? What is the balance behind the ball? If you talk about these laws, that is comes under the statics. So statics is the study of systems that are in a state of constant motion, either at rest or moving with a constant velocity. So here we are adding some of the information here. Now up to the second point we have talked about the rest. Here I have added the moving with a constant velocity. So there is no changes in the velocity. The body is in moving, but in the same velocity. There is no change in the movement. So that is also comes under the statics. So what is the meaning of dynamics? The dynamics deals with the objects in motion. So some object is moving. So which is the main role for the movement? We will study about this. That is called as dynamics. So dynamics is that branch of mechanics and which deals with the motion of bodies under the action of forces. So body is in rest because of force. The body is move, that is also force is applying. So with the help of force, the body is moving. That is called as dynamics. If a body is in rest, what is the nature behind that? That is called as statics. The body is moving under the condition of forces. So what is the formula behind that? That is called as dynamics. So dynamics is a study of the forces which are responsible for this motion. So dynamics is called a study about the movement and what is the force behind that. Who is the reason? that if you study about that, that is called as dynamics. Every object experiences some form of motion, which the result of different forces acting on the object. Yes, it is right. So if we, in sports, we are using lot of movements. So without creating forces, we cannot move from one place to another place. In same balance also, if you want to stay in a particular position, we must create some force, otherwise we will fall down. So static also, force is playing a vital role, dynamic also playing a vital role. So static is in particular place, dynamic is in moving in different place to place. So that is called as dynamics. Dear students, in next class we will start with kinetics and kinematics. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Thank you very much.